Digimodify. Podcast activate.
Hello everyone, and welcome to episode 68 of LostinTranslationmon. I'm May.
And I'm Jay.
This week we watched Battle of Adventurers.
Or The Adventurers' Battle.
For DigiNews this week, the first 5 minutes of Try Chapter 3 are available, and also an advanced screening of Try Chapter 3 happened, and their spoilers are available, but we won't be talking about each, and I haven't watched the first 5 minutes, and I haven't read the spoilers, so there will be no spoilers for Chapter 3 until we cover the movie.
This is a delight.
For LostinNewsLatelymon today, which will be a few days in the past, if you're listening to this on iTunes, we released a Vamdemon alarm clock video.
It's gross. I hate that thing so much. It just talks all the time about nothing. When you move, it's trying to talk to you, and I want it to die.
It keeps telling me to do my homework.
You don't have homework!
I know, it doesn't know I'm 23. And we're also off to Japan soon, so bye-bye.
Bye-bye!
Gilmon, bye-bye!
Well, don't be boring when we visit!
Terrymon, you are a gift.
Oh, that's the best bit of the movie.
The movie starts with Omegamon fighting a Pokemon and Mephistomon, and it's kind of cute because it reminds me a bit of Diaboromon Strikes Back.
Because it's in a big spherical area.
Yes. I would have liked it if Diaboromon was actually in this part because a Pokemon was. In the dub, I think the writers are a bit confused with how the different series are in different universes, because Omegamon references that a Pokemon was the big bad of Adventure, and how Mephistomon's trying to do what happened in Adventure by bringing a Pokemon back or something.
The specific reference is that Mephistomon is made of a Pokemon's data.
Really?
Something like that, yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's basically referencing Adventure, and it's the same a Pokemon from Adventure, even though it's it's in a different universe.
It makes no sense.
Instead of a Pokemon just being there sort of to show that it's one of the Digimon, that Mephistomon can just spawn.
That also implies that this is just a random Omegamon.
Also, I have a bit of a question that I'm going to ask now and not later because we'll forget it. So, Mephistomon keeps on spawning all these, like, armor-level Digimon and, child-level Digimon, right? And the strongest he summons is Bloomeramon, who is a perfect-level Digimon, right?
Sure.
Why not just spawn 20 Pokemons?
Because he wants to play fair.
Yep, what a good guy. Good guy Mephistomon.
Obviously.
We should just give him the dogs.
No, don't do that.
Anyway, we cut to Takato packing his bags, and it's hard because he's got all this stuff.
We cut to Oki something.
Yeah, and he says that he doesn't even want to go to Oki something, so he's talking about Okinawa. And it's really cute. He's like, I don't want to go to Oki something. It's cute. In the dub, instead of him saying Oki something, he says he just wants to be playing video games during the summer. Killamon shows up, and it goes Kulu Kulu.
What's weird, actually, in the English, he goes Kulu Kulu Kulu, it just goes back and forth watching him. Whereas in the English, usually in the English, he just says to himself, like, hey, wanna go play, wanna get blah? In this one, he doesn't say anything. He just stays totally silent.
Yeah, it's pretty, they don't change him that much. And I feel like Callimon doesn't actually talk during this movie that much.
No, he does not.
Compared to the usual how he doesn't shut up.
I think he talks about the same in both versions of this, honestly. Which is weird.
Yeah, no, it is. We cut to Gilmon, who's wondering what Takato is doing.
Also, it's really hot.
Yeah, and he's like rolling around. It's like, it's hot, where's Takato? In the dub, he's snoring.
Yeah, because he's asleep.
Yeah. Then we find out that Takato is going to Okinawa to see his cousin, and then his mum's typing on the register, and he's talking to the dad and makes a mistake. And then she says that she's not worried about Takato going, and then Takato's dad says that she's strong. In the dub, the dad says that Henry will be with him, which
is not entirely true.
Yeah,
he will be on the plane with him, but they're not going on the holiday together.
Yeah, he's off to see ruins.
In the English, maybe?
No, I think in the original, because we see him snorkeling still.
It's just such a random thing for him to say in the English. I'm going to go see those rooms that I read about.
Yeah, but it gives a reason for him to be there so they don't have to teleport, both Ruki and Jen. Well, they still teleport.
You mean so they don't have to write him a family?
Yeah. But Jen has lots of family.
No, but they're all in his house.
So then we get Bigger Streamer as an opening, and it's cute. In the dub, we get the same opening as Diaboromon Strikes Back, but we have word art titles.
It's ridiculous. So in the English, in the Japanese, it's a little bit pasteled out, it looks like, and there's just like, it's just the white writing in Japanese for the credits and stuff. Then it cuts to a little animation of like, the adventurers battle, and you've got like Kulamon hanging off it, and it's quite cute. And then it cuts to the kids, and they're all doing their big poses as it sort of runs more credits. However, in the English, it doesn't have any of that. Instead, it just has Digimon written in word art
over the buildings,
which we've posted on our Tumblr and everywhere else. Because it looks like a 90s sitcom, and it's
like
hilarious. Seinfeld. It's more like Frasier, I think, because of the city. And then it cuts to the kids, where it just says "The Adventurers Battle" and like these big blocky words, and it looks like a child made it.
Yeah, instead of having it in a nice font in Japanese, it's looks like word art that you would use, and you'd spend like about half an hour on the word art designing and making sure the colours and shadows were okay.
I would have put that together when I was in year 5, basically. And then the credits, rather than having already been done, are done in English through, like, as they go through the next couple scenes, they'll put up these, like, the old, like, Windows error boxes or question ones where, like, the little grey boxes come up and ask you something. So that would come up and it would have, like, the director's name or the writer's name. And to totally ruin the entire story, the VPET dog will come across and eat the names.
Yep.
And totally foreshadow everything that's about to happen.
Yeah. But you kind of know because it's just in media. Like, you see the dog and like, well, that's going to have something to do with the plot.
Well, that thing's evil.
Yeah. And you said that yourself. Even when we were watching the original version, you said, well, that dog's going to be evil.
Not when it first showed up, but when I found out it was, like, everywhere, I'm like, well, it's Digimon, and there's a VPET, and it's not one of the partner Digimon, so it must be evil.
I feel like whoever wrote this movie watched our war game and watched Hurricane Touchdown and said, what if we combined these movies?
What if we made the same movie?
No, both of them at the same time.
Yeah.
Let's have a threat on the internet, but also I want them to travel, it to be summertime, and there to be family involved, I guess?
Yeah, and they go to, like, an old dude's house, and he's cool and does karate.
Yeah.
Tries to kill an unwelcome visitor.
So it's Summer Wars, then?
It's also Summer Wars, yeah.
Yeah, it's also Summer Wars. Summer Wars was a good movie.
It was the best of all the Digimon movies.
In the opening, there's a bit of Ruki and Renamon, and Renamon just shows up in public now, I guess.
Yeah, she's just walking alongside her in the subway, because it's what you do. Honestly, I guess if any of them could do it, besides, I don't know, Terramon could be a plush toy, so that's good.
Yeah, Terramon does it.
Whereas Renamon's like, she could be a cosplayer. It's Japan.
A good cosplayer.
Makes more sense with fur than it does with scales.
On the plane, Takado shows Henry a photo of him and his cousin, and it's cute. Then Calamon starts causing trouble, because of course he does.
And he's just running around. They didn't expect him to be there, by the way. He just ended up on the plane without them knowing. And he's bumping around, hopping on the drinks cart, dumping stuff on the stewardesses. At which point, Takada comes over and says, "Oh, that's mine. Sorry about that." And the stewardess just, like, forgets it happened.
Yep.
Even though their face is currently covered in orange juice.
From, the flying bunny rabbit thing.
Yeah, totally. No, this is totally normal. There's nothing weird about this in the plane. Did we mention that Gilmon's in a suitcase?
Yeah, Gilmon's in a suitcase, and it's a very big suitcase.
Yeah, so when they're at the airport, Takahiro has a comically large suitcase that is constantly complaining because there's a dinosaur inside it.
Yeah.
At which point I asked myself, what year did this come out? Or what year is this based in?
This is 2001.
Oh, okay. So 9/11 might not have happened yet.
I wouldn't say so, no.
But it wasn't... Oh, okay. Only 02 was based in 2002, but this is based earlier.
Well, let's think. It's summer, right? Which is in Japan, so that's June, July, August.
Yeah.
Presumably it would have come out around that time, right?
Do we know it's 2001?
It said 2001 in the credits, so I'm assuming that's not going to lie to me.
Oh, okay. Wow, then, 9/11 hadn't happened yet. Sure, airport security wasn't too hard yet.
It wasn't Australia.
Was it?
Quarantine.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, we wouldn't be able to take a dinosaur into here. We gotta take one out, though.
Yeah, you can take one out, just not one in.
Yeah, and also it was domestic, so that's different.
Yeah. We find out that Henry's going to see some underwater ruins. Then Terramon says, "Bye-bye, Gilmon," kind of because Gilmon's in a suitcase.
Yeah, it was like, because Gilmon had just been complaining, and so I read it as when Terramon's like, "Bye," because he was on Jen's shoulder like normal, that he was being a dick. Like, haha, I'm outside the suitcase, what are you gonna do?
However, in the dub, because Terramon, has some damage, apparently.
I love him, he's the best.
If you get bored, call me, I'll come visit.
Really?
Sure. But don't be boring when we visit, okay?
Okay, Terriermon.
I love Terriermon so much.
Oh my god, he's the worst. He's so mean. I love it.
We see a guy on TV is talking about a VPET,
And they call him
Yep.
the inventor of the VPAT,
which is not.
which is not
Really?
true.
He kind of just helps, right?
He owns the business, I
Yeah.
think, which is probably why he would get credit for it.
Yeah. And then Takado's cousin shows up and calls him an old man. And
He's like, hey, old
yeah.
man, I'm looking for Takado. And the guy's like, hey, we're on camera right now. Do you mind? And he's like, I do mind. I'm looking for Takado. Kai's an idiot.
I love him. Takado shows up when the security guards, I guess they are chasing Kai around.
However, in English, they say, we're going to take you downtown, i.e., they're police now?
Yeah, I think it means they're more threatening, maybe?
I don't know, I think it's just cliches.
Anyway, so this game dev guy says not to punish the children because children are the future. In the dub, he just says they're potential VPET customers.
And everyone's like, yeah, future customers!
Yeah,
Woo!
yeah, give you money, yeah. We then see that Takado's mum's watching this on TV, so she calls her husband in, and then in the dub, when she's asked what he was on TV for, she replies with, I don't know, but it's cool.
Yeah, so basically, to sort of recap that, because it's not quite clear, she says, hey husband, get in here, he's on TV. And he puts his stuff down, and he comes over and checks it, and he says, couldn't you have called me earlier, because an ad had just started playing? She's like, yeah, I guess I could have. So it implied that she watched the whole thing. Whereas so in the English, now either she hasn't seen the whole thing, or she's so stupid she couldn't figure out what it was about.
Yeah.
Even though you could hear it in the background, so you do know what it was about.
I'm under the impression it's the joke about how parents don't know about things. Like, they don't know about the things that are cool for kids and what kids are doing. So it's like, oh, I don't know, what's this newfangled Digimon stuff?
I like newfangled. It's a word that doesn't get thrown around enough.
Yeah. Or like, what's a Nontondo 48?
Oh, you mean like all these kids with their phones going around chasing a Mario?
Yeah. No, it's that kind of thing. It's the parents who kind of know what's going on, but they don't fully know what it is or what it's about. But they have approximate knowledge.
I have approximate knowledge of many things. So Takado and Kai are on a boat,
Yep.
and they're going along, and Takado is super seasick, and Kai's calling him a giant baby, because that's what happens. And at this point, Kulamon jumps off the boat, and there's a seagull under him, and he flies away into the sunset.
Bye-bye, friend.
It's completely nonsensical.
I love it. It's so fun. I don't
He's
know
like,
how.
wait, where we go?
I'd like to point out that in the dub, Kai straight up says that he's happy that Takado's around only because he gets to make fun of him for being seasick.
What an asshole.
And then Kai jumps in the water fully clothed.
Yeah, and so he's just jumping in the water to like swim home. He's like, yeah, I'll see you later, man. Whatever,
Yeah.
you know the way to my place. In the English, I remember the exchange going like this. Do you know how to get to my place? No. Well, there's only one road. You just follow it.
Yep.
Okay. Then he jumps off the boat. What are you doing? Oh, I'm going to swim home. At which point, the boat guy goes, hey, haven't I told you not to do that? After which, the guy goes, no, don't worry, I do this all the time. And, of course, he does it all the time. That's why the guy asks him not to do it anymore.
In the original, the boat guy doesn't say anything because it's too far
Because
away.
there is no boat guy.
No, you see someone who comes along, but it's more like to look. But they just gave him a line anyway. Because silence is naughty, naughty, bad, bad.
You get Takado pushing the suitcase along, and Gilmon's like, and it's like the sun's beaming down and everything, and Gilmon's like, I want to get out of the suitcase, and Takado goes, no, you gotta stay. This is hard. Because it's hot, and it's difficult, and for some reason he doesn't think the dinosaur can help. And I think in the English, they don't emphasize how it's hot, they only emphasize how they're tired, which is weird.
And Takado doesn't want to do this.
Yeah, at which point, Takado collapses, and Gilmon pops out, and Kai's waiting up the road. He goes, where's that Takado guy? Looks down the road, sees a shape. He goes, oh, there he is! And then it's Gilmon pushing the suitcase with Takado lying on top of it.
It's so cute.
It's really, really adorable.
There are a lot of cute things in this movie.
And one's like, hey, so, got any food?
Me too, Gilmon. We then see that an old man is playing I think it's called a koto, but I might be wrong. Maybe it's not.
It's a little snakeskin guitar.
Yeah.
Banjo.
And it's Kai's grandfather.
It's his grandfather in English. I still think it's his dad. But,
I'm pretty sure it's his grandfather.
oh, it's probably his grandfather. They don't have old dads.
Yeah, old people don't exist.
Except for this one.
My favorite thing is that when Gilmon catches a fish, he says, "I caught a fishy."
Oh no, that's weird. Yeah, in Japanese it's "I caught a fishy," and in English it's "he caught me a fish," because he doesn't know how to fish in English. At which point Kai goes, "Wait, Grandpa, why aren't you freaking out? There's a giant Digimon here." And he goes, "What Digimon? That's just a weird dog."
And he says it's an interesting dog. And they say it's not a dog, it's a Digimon. And he says, "Oh, we have dogs on the island." And then they say that there's a guardian of the island who's called Shisa.
Or, in English, it's Shisamon.
Yeah, so they just straight up spoil that Shisamon is a Digimon. Like in the original, it's more like, it's all just a cultural thing. Forget about it. It's just a throwaway thing. They're just saying something that's cultural about the island. But in the dub, it's just like, oh yes, Shisamon.
I can't handle that. Just anyone watching. Oh yes, we used to have a Digimon looking after the island. That's why I think that's a dog.
Yeah, and I mean, he continues to not be able to accept that Gilmon isn't a dog, but is a Digimon, and it's just, it's kind of funny.
What if he's a Dogmon?
No, not a Dogmon. We then cut to Ruki's family, and there's a dog V-Pet on Seiko's computer. We find out that Ruki's mum is in Paris. Renamon smells a Digimon, so Ruki and Renamon run off. It's Terramon, who's Armadimon and Digi-Egg of Love, and Ruki says that he feels different.
Do they fight now or do they fight later?
No, they fight here.
Okay. Yeah, so there's a card slash which gives Renamon a giant axe, which makes me really miss the time when they used to card slash and actually meant something.
Yeah, but also the card slash isn't fully animated. We see her face, but because I think they didn't have that much time to make the movie, they didn't fully animate a lot of scenes, which is they don't use the stock footage. They made it quicker. Weird.
Because a lot of the stuff that they would have used stock footage before, they lazily animate now rather than just use the stock footage, which they could have done because it would have looked nicer.
I know, but stock footage takes up a lot more time.
But it doesn't take much more time to make.
Yeah.
And if we listen from the English, you can cut some of the stuff out of this movie and no one will notice. Including...
the next scene is completely cut in the English version. So it's Takato on a boat, and Takato uses his goggles for his snorkel.
Oh, no, there's the karate bit first.
Yeah, that part's there, but that is also cut, yeah.
Yeah, Gilmon and Takato are led along karate by the old man, which only happens in the Japanese one. So when he turns out to be a karate master later, in English, it's a surprise.
And also, Kai has to explain it. Kai says, "Oh, don't worry, he's into karate." Because they have to explain it because they cut a scene.
Nah, he's an Asian old man. All the Americans would have assumed it anyway.
Yeah. Also, Takato somehow breathes underwater with the snorkel filled with water.
Well, he doesn't breathe. He never shows him breathing.
He breathes for a long time.
Holds his breath.
Yeah.
Yeah, but basically he has a snorkel on, but he goes underwater with it because he's crazy, and who does that?
Then
no one, that's who.
Kellamon sits on the water, and he has his bum bitten by little fishies. It's really cute.
He's like, "Yeah, I know, that tickles." It's very cute. I don't know why he floats, but he does. And he floats with, almost none of him in the water.
Because he's magic.
He's pretty much
But I thought he
magic.
went off on the seagull.
Well, he's back now. He fell off the seagull, and then just glided down. Gilmon tries to eat an octopus, which inks him. And then Kai goes and hunts and murders the octopus. And then they eat it.
And that whole bit's cut, and they're just seen eating the squid.
Yeah, they've already caught it, already eating it.
I'm not sure if this part's in the original, but Kai asks Takato if he's going to take over the bakery, which I found as an interesting point.
Yeah, I don't remember that being in the original.
Yeah, I don't remember it being there either. but it sure is an interesting point to be there.
And he's like, "Well, I didn't think about it." And that's never brought up again, even though an assessment of their futures would be interesting, because we kind of got that with Adventure, and then it never really went anywhere.
We then see that a Digishark is chasing a girl.
Okay, I mean, it's barely a shark. I
It's
wouldn't call it a
Tailmon with a
shark.
Digi-Egg of Reliability.
They call it a shark, but it's more of it's almost eel-ish if it didn't have the weird fins on it.
Well, it's Gatomon. It's a catfish.
It's not, though.
So then there's a girl, she drowns, Kai swims and rescues her, they bring her back to land. It's kind of like a weird maybe they're trying to make romantic with Takato moment.
I don't think they were ever going for that, which is nice.
Then Takato grabs her computer, and then
He grabs her
Calumon-
bag, fishes around
Yeah.
in it, and finds a computer wrapped in plastic, because that's what happens if you find someone on the street. Actually, this is probably good advice. If you find someone, like, unconscious, you should rifle through their stuff.
Yeah, grab their laptop.
And then run!
Calumon jumps around and is like a cat, how he just pushes everything over.
Wait, when is that? Isn't that during the food?
No, he jumps over all the food during the food, but he jumps onto the laptop during this part.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah. No, it's later on when he jumps over the food, but this part is where he jumps over the
I
computer.
don't know, I watched this twice, I don't remember that at all.
No, I remember it because it was cute. Susie is playing with the VPET and it's glitching, so it keeps on giving her the wrong answers even when she's putting in the right answers, so she's kind of annoyed because why wouldn't she be?
Except that she's not even putting in the right answers the first time, it changes it to a different wrong answer. I.e., 3 times 0 equals 30. No. Okay, 3 times 4 equals 30. Also wrong.
In the dub, she's saying how stupid it is and thinks it's annoying, and it seems to be insinuating that she's getting the answers wrong and she's just salty for being bad at the game.
I hate this thing, but also, fine, I'll feed you. Also, I hate I hate Jen. He didn't leave Terriermon for me to horrendously misuse. Sleepy cast. Everyone is yawning.
And then we get a flashback from the girl and just having a memory of her dog dying.
A summer memory, if you will.
Gilmon wakes her up and freaks her out, and then Kai's grandfather says, "Don't worry, it's just a dog."
Just a weird dog, don't worry about it. No, he's got scales. No, he's a big dinosaur, but it's a dog. It's a dogosaur.
Gilmon asks Takado if he looks like a dog, and Takado doesn't say no. So maybe Gilmon actually looks like a dog.
No, I thought it was, he looks like it's a weird dog. Oh, it's kind of, do I look weird?
No, that's in the dub.
Okay.
He says, Takado, do I look strange? Instead of, do I look like a dog?
The second one's funnier.
We find out that the girl's name is Minami, and she's the daughter of the VPET creator.
Which, at this point in the movie, you would assume is the dude with the yellow glasses from the beginning.
Yeah, and not the guy we haven't seen yet.
Yeah, and which is incorrect.
Then they eat some food, and Calamon's hyper, and it's not really explained why he's hyper, but in the dub, it says that he says that he wants to play.
He always wants to play. So yeah, he's trying to steal Gilmon's food, and Gilmon's having none of it. So he bounces over to the table and is like falling over among the plates, like yeah, and spinning around.
It seems like he's had something to drink.
Diving into red cordial, diving into people's laps for hugs, being really cute. At which point, they're suggesting, different, I guess, local foods to Takado, who is not having any of it. And I think that they're offering different parts of pigs that he's not happy about. And finally they go, have some of these. He goes, what are they? And it's pig's feet. He's like, and while he's not decisive, Gilmon just comes up and grabs one like a dog.
But my favourite part is when Calamon says ears only in dreams. I'm not sure if that's a reference to something, but I found it very funny.
Ears only in dreams. What?
In the dub, Calamon says, I like eating food. Food is super good. I love Calamon. I agree with Calamon a lot of the time.
Hey, Calamon, do you like me? I like your food.
Minami starts crying for some reason because no one's been paying attention to her for 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's weird because the flashback would imply that the thing happened a long time ago. And spoilers, the VPET is based on her dog that died, which makes no sense because obviously it would take a while to develop a VPET, which would imply... Okay, you tell me, a fully functional program, GUI, all the back end of it, something of this size back in the day, how long do you think that would have taken to develop for...
Depends how many people working
one
on it.
One person.
Yeah.
Okay, so it would have to have been, presumably, at least a year of work.
Or at least a few months.
Okay, that's minimum 6 months in.
Yeah.
6 months ago, her dog died. I've had a dog die. I was sad about it. I wasn't at a dinner at a stranger's house 6 months later, randomly crying.
I feel like I would.
I don't know. 6 months is a lot of recovery time.
I feel like I would never get over Langley dying.
No, again, you'd be sad, but you wouldn't be at dinner being like, yeah, this is a great dinner. Oh no! And just collapse.
I feel like I would.
Oh, well, that's gonna be sad.
Then Kai's grandfather says they're all siblings and that emotions are good. And then he starts playing the koto again. And I'm pretty sure it's not actually the koto because I think the koto's on the ground. I think it's
we should
the guitar.
mention, it's just a small difference, and I don't really know why they've done it, but in Japanese, he's playing one note at a time, and it sounds a little awkward. It's just kind of little steps like dun, 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 dun. It's really nothing, But in English, he's quite good. He's playing chords, the song sounds nice, it's got a bit more energy to it. They obviously assessed that the first one was boring. I don't know if he's meant to be bad.
I think the original's more cultural. It feels more cultural.
Maybe, but I can't tell. I can't tell if he's bad at it, or if, and that's kind of the joke, or if he's good, or if he's good from from a cultural perspective. It's weird.
I feel like it's good from a cultural perspective, but we don't have that, so they changed it so it sounds better to Western ears. But that's just what I think.
So that evening, they're all...
No, in the dub, instead of him saying they're all siblings, he says emotions are good to deal with and live through because it's what makes us, humans.
Not Digimon, though. They're made of data.
No, they're dogs.
Do whatever you want with them.
No, Digimon are dogs now. We flash to see what's happening in Tokyo, and a bunch of car accidents are happening. Jen's on the phone to his dad, who is saying that something is wrong with all the computer systems, and for some reason it looks like Jen's dad got a haircut.
Yeah.
We also see that
long hair.
We also see that Terrymon's in the shower.
Oh, it's so cute. He's just standing in the shower, he falls over, he goes, whoop! Then he comes out of the shower, and mysteriously he is drying his face off with his ears.
I love him.
Despite having been in the shower with all of him.
He's perfect. I love him so much.
It'd be like drying off with a wet towel. It's so cute.
We see that Ruki's looking at a calendar, and her mum's coming home on August 1st. Renamon is laughing alone in the silence. Ruki asks her if she just laughed, and then says that she'll forgive her if she did, and then that she doesn't care much for her mum. In the dub, Rika says, "Mums, you miss them when they're gone, but when they're there, you just want them to leave you alone."
Which, I mean, it's a little bit true.
And then Renamon's laughing at her because she's caring about her mum.
It's so weird seeing Renamon laugh. Like a full-on, like, ah!
Yeah.
Like, real laugh.
Renamon laughs alone with salad.
What?
It's a meme. It's
Oh, I know that. Yeah, woman laughing alone with salad.
Yeah, but it's Renamon laughing alone with salad.
The stock image. I know that.
They go back into Okinawa now. Minami says that there are a lot of Digimon over there on that island, and her father told her to run away from them. In the dub, Minami was told to take the laptop with her because the Digimon wanted it. Which I guess kind of makes sense when you think about the plot.
It does to an extent.
Yeah, but that's not actually said that the Digimon directly wanted the laptop and that she was given the laptop. It was just implied that that was her laptop.
Well, I don't know if they said the Digimon wanted it, just keep this safe.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, at the end of it, it makes more sense if you think of it as just like, keep this safe. No one is directly after it, but make sure it is safe. Because especially in the Japanese, the bad guys didn't know what was in it. They knew if they'd gotten it, it would have been bad, but they didn't know what was in it. They were just kind of looking for it. We'll get there.
Takado keeps on rummaging through other people's belongings, so I'm not sure why, but he's looking at her computer to see the VPET. Minami says it's the original, and it's called May.
What do you mean? He asked her, "Can I see your laptop?"
I know, but he sure does want to rummage through it.
Yeah, but he's not rummaging without permission. He says,
point.
"Can I look?"
Okay.
And he's like, and he sits down, and I feel it's the weirdest thing for a kid who actually owns a Digimon. And he's like, "Oh my god, you can feed it, and it's like a dog. That's amazing."
But he has a dino dog.
He has Gilmon. I cannot believe that he's like wowed by this VPET.
Minami explains that she's based off the dog that died, trying to rescue her.
Whose name was May, and was a boy in one version and a girl in the other.
And also was said to be a puppy in the dub.
Which, like, I don't want to say that a puppy dying isn't bad, because it's bad. No one misread me when I say that. It is definitely bad. But honestly, if you've had a puppy, i.e. you've had it for a couple weeks, that emotional trauma is significantly less than a dog you've had for years. If it was a puppy, that means that it's been dead longer than she had it.
Yeah, probably. Well, if you're counting, because I call all dogs puppies, but if you're talking about the actual, definition of a puppy, which is, a few months old, less than a year, yeah, chances are you're right. But I don't think it's actually a puppy in the original.
No, I don't think it is either.
Minami asks Takado if Gilmon died, would Takado be happy enough with just a VPET to replace him? Because, yeah, Takado kind of is insensitive in the way and says, "Oh, but you have a VPET to replace him." And
That's pretty much the same as a normal pet.
Yeah, and Minami says, but if Gilmon died, you wouldn't be happy with just a V-Pet to replace him.
I feel like this is such a weird thing for a franchise that is so heavily based on V-Pets, like in real life.
Yeah, but you'll never have a real one.
The show is telling you, hey, I know you love those V-Pets, but they're not nearly as good as what you could have had. What you have is a terrible replacement for the thing that you're seeing on this show. You will never enjoy Digimon as much as these kids do.
Takato then says that he's sure that Mei was happy to have her as an owner. In the dub, he says that Mei would want her to be happy. Minami then says that she blames herself, but then thanks Takato for listening and says that he's very kind. In the dub, she just thanks him, and it seems more of a snap reaction from crying to thank you, instead of just thanks, you're kind for listening.
It goes like this: it's all my fault. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate it.
It's the Davis and Willis discussion again, that while it did seem sort of a bit like a snap reaction in the original, at least she said, I just need to say that I was stressing, thanks for listening. It's instead of just a direct sort of like, thanks for listening. Thanks.
Okay, I've had my good cry for 3 seconds now, and now I'm fine.
Everyone's asleep, and Gilmon's falling off the deck and crawls back on. It's really cute.
Like, fully in his sleep, including Kulamon, who is actually fully asleep, but also flies back up to sleep on Gilmon again.
It's so cute.
At which point Scorpionmon shows up.
Yep.
And Gilmon falls off the deck again, then finally wakes up, looks around and gets his eyes all narrow. It's like, oh, Digimon's around. Gotta go fight. Gotta go put him in a box. So they go and fight for a little bit. They damage the house and they get told to go fight elsewhere. Gilmon runs off to go fight the Scorpion. Takato pulls out his Digivice for the first time in the episode. Says, I'm going to go handle this.
And let's point out, this is 20 minutes into the episode and he actually pulls out his Digivice. Yeah, movie.
And then he runs off, at which point a Divamon crashes through the roof to attack the grandfather Kai and Minami. And the grandfather's like, go children, I will take care of this one, while getting into like a Manta-style stance or something.
Yeah.
He's like, I will fight them with my karate.
And of course he gets beaten because duh.
It's like actually, I think it's only in the Japanese that you see him get beaten. I don't remember actually seeing him get beaten in the
yeah, I don't remember either. I think it's cut.
I think it's implied that he wins.
Yeah, but then Divamon comes back and Shisamon kills him.
I know, but it's implied that he wins.
Takato slashes to life and uses Arrow Wind. In the dub, we again get music from Digimon Frontier, because that series is pretty good.
Because that's what they had the rights to.
Yep. Kai gets hit in the face with a Scorpionmon, and I found this really amusing for some reason. I don't know why. I actually like Kai, but, seeing him get hit in the face, it was kind of funny.
And then Scorpionmon pulls out his nipple cannons.
Yeah, they came out of nowhere. Don't remember him having those, but alright.
Did you know that Scorpionmon had guns? Because the blades weren't enough. He needed guns on his nipples.
Scorpionmon's destroyed, and Shisamon shows up. Yay!
Yeah, it pops out of the laptop after Minami yells the word May, I guess. It mentions it. It's a bit weird. Anyway, so Shisamon is basically somewhere between a dog and a unicorn in a statue.
Yeah, but also reminds me of one of those lines that they have out of, in front of, temples and stuff.
The Merline?
No, the doggy lines that they have at the front of gates and stuff.
Well, it's based on the little statues on top of houses in Okinawa.
Yeah, it's cute.
On the Shisa. That's just what it is.
Yeah. No, the Shisamon. It's based on the Shisamon.
Damn it. God, it's so bad.
So he smells Minami and knows her name.
Which is really, it's really stupid. I've always known you, even though I was only made recently and you didn't want to play with me because I wasn't good enough for you.
Then a Manta-Raymon shows up and steals Minami. Then Calamon says that he's going to find help, and he kind of does. He kind of magically flies to mainland Japan.
Yeah, where Ruki is fighting Blue Marimon.
Yep.
And at the same time, Jen sees a boat, thinks Takato is on it for some reason. He has no evidence to think Takato's on that boat, but he does think it. Yeah. And a big LostinTranslationmon comes out and fights him. And
Takato's, not Takato, and Terriermon seems actually nice and happy to see
He's like, yeah, we get to see
Takato.
Takato! Woo! Yeah. I get to make fun of him again! Yeah, and then, so this is the sequence of events, and it's really weird. Kulamon is standing there on what is clearly pavement, and he's like, Kulu! And his forehead thing goes, and at which point, a Cubimon starts to evolve.
You mean Renamon?
Renamon starts to evolve, yeah. And then you see Kulamon again, and he's like, Kulu! and Terriermon evolves, which implies he's at both places.
Well,
And-
it's a split screen evolution at the exact same time.
Yeah, and you think to yourself like, okay, maybe it's just representation because even though he has to be around for an evolution to take place, let's just pretend he doesn't have to. He just needs to activate in a general sense. Still, at the end of the fight, because Cubimon kills Meramon, whatever, he's actually there with Ruki. I asked me at the time, how long is the flight between Tokyo and Okinawa?
And I might have been wrong, but I thought it was like an hour or
I
two.
guess it's about an hour. That's why you take a flight generally. But let's pretend it's an hour.
It's also the water. That's also why you take the flight.
Yeah.
You can't walk.
In 5 to 10 minutes, Cruelemon did an hour's flight worth of traveling.
He's very fast.
So, which implies that he's at least 6 times faster than an airplane, which I believe, and I could be wrong, I think they travel over 200 kilometers an hour. Like, significantly. Which means that Cruelemon travels at least 1,200 kilometers an hour.
He's very fast.
At least that much. So, I don't know, there's something going on here, and I think it's wrong.
In the dub, they're called Digidestined.
Yeah, no, so a beam of light comes down from the sky,
Yeah.
and it's Omnimon, who earlier in the movie had punched Mephismon through a digital gate by accident. And he goes, Digidestined, I have a job for you. This is God. And he beams them both up, which is good, because Cruelemon had just asked Ruki, hey, we need your help in Okinawa, or whatever. He probably doesn't know what it's called, but over that way. And she would have had to, like, buy a plane ticket, and, like, get a flight. You don't even know if there were flights that day, and if there were flights that day, are they full or not? The general, like, logistics of getting her to Okinawa without having this god help all of a sudden pop out of nowhere was impossible. So they both kind of get teleported through the digital world. At which point we cut to, I believe it's Takado is on a little boat.
And it
with
reminds
Kai.
me of the boat that Taichi and Agumon were on when Bolero was playing.
It looks like it's floating through a cloud.
Yeah, so that's why it reminds me of that Piximon episode where Taichi and Agumon went on a boat.
Yeah, which I think it might just be fog.
Yeah.
I think it was meant to be fog. But it really looks like it's flying because it's like white everywhere.
Kai says that friends fight together and that he'll be his sidekick. In the dub, he just says he'll help.
But I can't see, does he ever actually help?
No, he stands there.
Awesome. That's a problem with Digimon and having kids around. It's just like, what do? They try not to die.
Gilmon then tells them that Shisamon's name is Shisamon, which is weird because in the dub he'd already been called Shisamon by Kai and everyone there.
Yeah, they go, it's Shisamon! And at least it was a revelation in Japanese. I love in English how he sounds so proud. It's like, he said his name is Shisamon.
Yeah, instead of actually
Good job, you
finding
red
out.
idiot.
He was already called Shisamon, yeah.
I love they approach a cliff, and the line goes exactly like this. Oh, there must be a secret entrance around here somewhere. There it is. There's like no delay. They just immediately find it.
Yeah, it's worse than the dub. It's like directly after. It's like, oh yeah, there it is.
We did it. Good job, everybody. At which point they find, I think they fight Manta Raymon and they kill it.
Yeah.
And they find the secret entrance.
They also find Knife Turtle, which is the best armor evolution.
Knife Turtle. Then Minami's being held captive inside what appears to be an underwater base.
With lasers.
We'll get there. An underwater base. Then, overlooked by, there is Man in Yellow Glasses, who was called the inventor of V-Pets before, but he's speaking to the actual inventor, who is generic scientist man, who invented V-Pets and everything. And they are then threatened by some Digimon of, hey, give us something. What did they even want? Her?
I think they wanted the computer that had the vaccine program on it.
Yeah, right. In Japanese, they knew there was a vaccine, so they want to go and destroy it. Whereas I believe in the English, they did not know there was a vaccine. They only find out later that there was one, and they say, oh, that's quite clever. But they've taken over this base. And Minami's in this weird chamber, like this big cylindrical chamber. At which point, these like spherical laser guns pop out and start trying to shoot her, and she only dodges it because Shisamon busts through the wall and like drags her out of the way. At which point, I've turned to May and I've asked, this place is the like headquarters from which they made the V-Pet. There's nothing else that this place has done.
What?
So it's a team of developers. Why aren't they in an office?
They probably bought it from like some James Bond villain.
Yeah, it's an underwater base complete with like lasers and hallways with all like weird mysterious pipes along it. An entire room that's just like an ominous, like pit of more pipes and circuitry. Mm-hmm. I couldn't figure out why any of it existed in a business that was there to make V-Pets, especially the death lasers.
They bought it cheap on Gumtree.
But it's Japan, so it's cherry blossom tree?
Sakura tree.
Yeah, close enough. That's what I meant.
So yeah, the Digimon are basically trying to kill Minami in front of her father to say, give us the vaccine or else. And yeah, he just punches Ponchomon in the face.
Also, there's a very like racially insensitive group of Digimon attacking them. There's like the weird Aztec not dragon, Aztec like weird face one. There's a cactus with a poncho.
And then there's an African like one.
Yeah.
There's like a monkey with like a mask.
It's really bad.
Yeah. But it's fine to be vast in your character designs.
But not racist.
Minami wishes to be saved. So Shisamon shows up and blasts through the door. Then Shisamon wants pats, and it's really, really cute.
Shisamon and Graumon evolves, and he and Shisamon beat up all these racially insensitive Digimon and kill them all. Mm-hmm. And actively do not load their data, even though earlier in the movie, Vamdemon randomly loaded that the Terramon's data because she's still kind of vaguely evil, I guess.
Even though she already said she wouldn't.
Yeah.
That she didn't need to, and that was in the Cubimon episode.
Yeah, well, that doesn't matter. Character development doesn't happen.
Some water starts flooding down. And
they busted up a wall or something.
And Kai says that it's the barrier that they broke earlier. In the dub, Kai is surprised when the water breaks through and says that they must have broken something, even though they're the ones who broke it. The guy who isn't the dad says that no one will interfere with his plans, so I guess now we know that the other guy is evil.
I was always evil. Nobody knew, even though I wore my douchey yellow sunglasses inside.
Even though, while the developer has generic scientist guy look, he has generic bad guy look.
He really looks evil, from the beginning.
Late 90s, early 2000s tech baddie.
What a scum.
Yeah. We see that Omegamon and Gen and Ruki are flying through some things because...
The digital world, I guess?
Yeah, why not? We see that Shisamon is scared. Minami's dad says the V-Pets are infected and they have to fix it by using a vaccine. Graumon says this person is a Digimon when he refers to
They end
the
up in a
old blokes.
observatory space, which again, why did the developers of V-Pets have an observatory?
I told you they bought it from a Bond villain.
Yeah, you mentioned that. I'm not sure I believe it necessarily. At which point Omnimon delivers Gen and Ruki to them, but does not come out himself. He does not help. He does the teleporting, and then he is never ever seen again.
I feel like he could help, though, right?
I mean, he fought Mephismon before, so he's obviously willing to do that, but he's not willing to help these children, because he's a dick. So yeah, what's his name? I don't
even know his name.
Owner of the company of the inventors of the V-Pets, I guess.
Yeah, not Minami's dad.
He has a name. I don't remember what it is.
Mephistomon. He becomes Mephistomon.
He's Mephismon.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gets identified as a Digimon by Graumon. He begins this weird transformation where he gets halfway, but his face is still the same.
Yeah.
And it's really gross.
And then he attacks Shisamon. Shisamon de-evolves. In the dub, Decado straight up says, it de-evolved to Labramon.
Yeah.
Because Decado knows all these names, I guess.
Well, he doesn't, if he looked at his Digivice for half a second, I'd believe it. But he just picks it off the top of his head.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't use the Digivice analyzer at all in these episodes.
What if it was a Digimon card?
I think Ruki might have.
Maybe?
Once. Maybe. I'm not sure. Then... Yeah, Mephistomon starts talking. He's got the same voice as Myotismon in the dub.
It's really annoying. Myotismon is always the bad guy.
We see that Ruki's mum's plane is having some problems.
Because there are dogs eating all their meters.
And same with the hospitals. Why is this V-Pet needed on planes and in hospitals?
They just... Look, so one of the nurses was really bored, right? And they just thought, you know what would brighten up my day? I'm going to install a little dog on this heart monitor because this needs it.
Is that even possible, though?
I don't think it is. Neither of those things are programmable and don't have, desktops or anything.
We also see that there's a Kukuamon at the in the hospital. And
is that the Tasermon?
Yes. It's really cute.
It's not cute. It's
I
made
love
of
him.
tasers.
I love him.
It's made of tasers.
He's my favourite.
The bad Magnemite.
And at this point in the movie, I'm wondering where Yamaki is, because I feel like Yamaki would like to have a hand in all this.
Oh, he would love what happens at the end.
He would love a Shisamon. Kill all Digimon, okay.
Kill all Digimon.
Mephistomon blows up everything and takes them to some underwater place in some digital realm. And then Mephistomon says that it's a world that he created, and it's his vision for humanity.
Oh, in one version, it's this is my vision of humanity after I destroy you all. Then I will make it go. Whereas in English, it's this is the world I created to destroy you, which is weird because if you know what you would do in a world that created to destroy people, fill it with poison gas. It would make a lot more sense than just like having it be a big arena where you have to fight still yourself.
Yeah, no, that's fair. In the dub, there's a wonderful line.
You could never defeat me with a pathetic attack like that.
And you'll never get us to stop battling you with pathetic speeches like that. We will take you down.
It's beautiful.
Oh, what a sass. That's good. He's picking stuff up from Terrymon. That's what he needs to do.
They blow up a boat, and it falls on Mephismon.
No, somebody...
Yep.
The exact situation is it's the classic, like, I think Growlmon maybe throws a fireball.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Ha ha, you missed me!" And they're like, "No, we didn't."
It's so cliched. But the thing is, in the original, they don't really play up that cliche, but in the dub, it's like... word for word, that cliche is, haha, you missed, haha, that was such a weak attack, you missed, haha.
Why is, like, imagine Vamdemon's voice, and he's like, haha, you missed me. He's like a 5-year-old. So yeah, a big flaming oil tanker falls down on them, and the explosion is, like, so massive, and they were only, like, I swear they were only, like, 20 meters away from him.
They were pretty close.
So everyone should have died.
Well, they jump away, and then Minami's running away from it, and... then Labramon jumps in the way and gets hit and dies again. Because,
yeah, that worked out. Anyway, so Labramon dying released the vaccine?
No, Minami calls him May.
Okay.
And then it's hinted that releases the vaccine.
I thought it was the death directly.
Oh. Well, this sounds kind of sad. He's made to die.
That's fine. Well, the vaccine pops out and starts eating all of the V-Pets in the world and also all the Digimon that they created, I guess, or were summoned by it.
Yeah.
In whatever way. At which point they're like, yeah, we won! Wait a minute. Why are we still in the weird other dimension that was created by Mephismon if he's not dead? So if we killed him. And then, surprise.
No, you're missing some bits. So, Ruki's mum wakes up. And she doesn't really say anything in the original. But in the dub, she says, "Oh, long flights are so boring," because it's a joke, because, she missed almost dying. Then Susie is talking to her dad and says, is it dead? And he says, "Oh, yeah, don't worry, it's dead." In the dub, she says, "See, Dad, I told you it was annoying." And she was like, "Yep, you were right."
And I'm going to tell you, "See, man, I told you she was annoying."
No, I never said that Susie wasn't annoying.
Oh, she's awful.
Minami runs up to her father, starts crying because, her dog died again.
At which point I'm just like, well, he can just make another one.
Yeah, but she wanted a Digimon.
But he says the secret of making Digimon. He can do it.
Also, it should have been obvious that this was not going to end well for Labramon because she doesn't have a Digivice.
Yeah.
There was a toy that was released for this movie, and it was a translucent blue one.
What?
It was the shell was blue with silver, so it was kind of like imagine an inverted Rika's, but it was translucent blue. And that one has Labramon and Shisamon on it.
Oh wait, like a Digivice for it?
Yeah, a toy Digivice.
Weird.
And so that was released, like, sort of for the movie, because it had Labramon and Shisamon on, but she doesn't actually get a Digivice, so it's...
So when you buying it for $1,000...
Why do you have it?
Boo!
It wasn't $1,000.
Boo!
I have all the D-Arcs.
That's so sad.
Why is it sad?
I don't know. It just seems really sad.
It's also the one I showed you. It's the one you have in the art I commissioned.
No, it's different. That's mine. That one's different because it works.
Yeah, and then Mephismon evolves to Gulfmon. In the dubbed, Carter knows his name.
Wait, Guffmon?
Gulfmon.
What the hell does that mean?
That's his name.
Gulfmon.
It's the one when he grows big legs and he gets bigger.
So yeah, Digimon has this huge problem where they think that making a Digimon bigger makes it scarier. What they don't understand is that actually making it smaller and closer to man size makes it way scarier. Because, I mean, you look at Cell, right, from Dragon Ball Z, and he looks like a weird monster at first, but at the end he looks like just a dude, and he's way scarier at the end because it's the Uncanny Valley is like the scariest thing ever.
Yeah.
And also, Golfmon looks exactly like Venom Myotismon with an extra pair of legs.
Yeah, because he's got a crotch vampire.
And he's exactly the same, and now doesn't talk anymore. He's just like, "Brrr," and has the same voice.
And at this point, I'm just like, wow, the ugly stick has gone absolutely mental in this movie.
And from then on, May never stop talking about the ugly stick ever again.
Look, it's a really good phrase.
It's not.
So the children get their Digimon to evolve to perfect, and I guess out
Okay.
of nowhere, just this part, it works the best, and no one needs blue cards anymore, I guess.
No one needs blue cards anymore. And also, the evolutions are really weird. Like, Megalogrammon's one is totally normal. And then Rapidmon not only doesn't get his, like, instead of doing any of the 3D animation stuff, it just cuts to, like, a still drawn image of him. And then also, Talmon doesn't get any of her cool animation with the moon or anything. It's just a standing there. And then it cuts to the end of Megalogrammon's one, and then it sticks both of those images either side of him, and it looks photoshopped to hell.
See, I just believe that they did that because of timing, not because of, because they wanted to try something new.
Tack on another 10 seconds, who cares?
Rapidmon says a great line, which is, the bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Ah, classic. Never heard that one before.
Then they combine to cast Trinity Burst, which doesn't get named in the dub.
Also, it doesn't make any sense. They all sort of jellify into a big attack, and then they go through him, and then they're unattached, and no one ever mentions it. What did they do? How did they do it? Can they do it again? What the hell?
So they defeat Golfmon, and then they all go right to the surface, and no one dies, and they're all very happy. And then Calamon jumps into the air, and the movie ends. And in the original, we get credits, which are the photos from Dakata's holiday, and also they thank Windows 98 in the credits.
And I think in the English, they just recap. They have little clips of other stuff in the movie.
Yeah, to the opening, same music as the opening. And it's a cute movie, but also like the last 10 minutes with the main plot. What do you think of this movie as someone who was new to Digimon?
It's not very good. I didn't like it very much.
I thought it was cute. It had some really nice parts. I liked it. It was nice to see them relax and do things that weren't typically Digimon-y. And it's a nice cut before, we get back to the plot. And I know a lot of the movie you can just skip. I feel like you can skip a good 20 minutes or half an hour from this movie because a lot of it's just fluff.
It's a 50-minute movie, and you've just told me you can skip 30 minutes of it. That's
you
not a good movie.
I know, but the parts that I watched that you could skip are enjoyable, and they're cute, and they're funny, and I enjoyed them. I'm just saying that, if you wanted just to get the plot of the movie, you could skip a lot of the cute parts.
This was a great meal, but if you just took all the food out, it would be a nice plate, and that's what I would be happy with.
Because, all you have to know is about the V-Pet, and you wanted about Minami having, a dog that died, and the dog was reborn as the V-Pet. That's all you have to know.
You can also take Jen and Ruki out of this.
Basically, except for the final blow, they can just show up at the end.
Yeah, they don't. But you could have done that in a different way.
Oh no, to know that her mum's on a plane that's going to die.
That's irrelevant.
No, but it shows you that something's at stake.
You could have shown anyone on a plane.
Yeah, I know, but if you know the character who's in danger, it means more.
Put Takata's mum on a plane.
Or anyone's mum. But it doesn't make sense that Takata's mum be travelling for
Put Takata's
bakery.
grandma on the plane. It doesn't matter. The plane isn't the most relevant part. You could have removed both of them from
I'm
the
just
story.
saying it to show you that things are at stake.
It could have been someone else.
Yeah, it could have been,
It doesn't take specifically Ruki's mum, the parent we hate the most.
But she's fine in the original.
She's okay.
Or it could be any character, but I think it needs to be a character that we know.
I don't think that's true.
To worry about.
Did we care about the pilots? Yes?
No.
Oh, well, you're just a bad person. I forgot.
What would you rate this movie?
6.
I go to 6.5.
Yeah, it's generous.
It had nice, cute moments. How is a 0.5 difference generous?
There's more than I gave it. Hence
Good point.
It's generous.
I just feel like it had a lot of cute moments, and I like seeing characters on holiday, and it's cute. And, it was sad, because it wasn't as sad as when I first saw it. I remember it being really sad, but it wasn't as sad. And just dogs were there, and, it wasn't terrible. 6.5. How does this movie compare to the other Digimon movies that we've seen so far?
Well, it's a lot like 2 of them.
Better than Hurricane Touchdown?
Yes.
Worse than Our War Game?
Yes.
Better than the prequel?
No?
I'd say it's better than the prequel. But the prequel was also much shorter.
Yeah, which makes it way better.
But it will never be as good as Our War Game. What about Our War Game 2, Diaboromon Strikes Back?
It's also worse than that. It's the same story of, like, something getting into the system
Yeah.
and ruining everything. This is the third time they've done that story.
I would agree with you, but it's definitely it's
But
definitely
what
better.
else are you going to do with Digimon, right?
It's definitely better than Hurricane Touchdown. What was the major difference that you noticed besides word art? Because that's not like a huge difference.
I guess one of the primary differences I noticed was in the plot was that, and I know it feels really minor, but it's not. When the guy who owns the company comes down and hears them talking about that the vaccine was in Shisamon all along, in the original he goes, that's where it was. Very clever. Whereas in the English one, he goes, oh, you had a vaccine. That's very interesting. Which is to imply in the English that he never knew there was a vaccine. Which means that he was never looking for it. Which means that they never had to send Minami out on the jet ski in the first place. Because he was never looking for the thing that they were keeping safe. That changes the entire movie.
Yeah, you're right. See, what I thought was a pretty big change was also involving Mephistomon's human form. And it's when he's at the airport, and in the original he says, these are the children and they're the future. So he's like this, he's suave, and that's always a scary, like...
He's nice and marketable.
Yeah, you know those, like, suave but also are the devil characters?
Yes.
He's one of those.
You mean the devil?
But in the dub, he's just this scummy, like, don't worry, they will give us money. They're, potential customers. It's just like, that's not suave, that's not smooth, and it's, the bad guys are always scary and, demonic when they're just very suave and charming and they have a way with words and people listen to them. And that's what this guy is supposed to be. It's what makes him creepy.
Also, how long ago do you think that Omnimon punched the Mephismon in through the gate? Because, like, if the timeline of the movie is to be accepted, it appears that it was, like, the day before the movie started.
Yeah, but
Was
human
he
guy,
the human guy the whole time?
I think he probably just charmed his way into getting there so easily and so quickly. It could have been a week or two.
I don't know, it doesn't explain any of that, and I think it's important.
Yeah, but I feel like they only had 50 minutes and they didn't want to use it up. I mean, they could have cut out some cute scenes, but I really like the cute scenes, okay? Another one that I noticed was how he references the Apocalypse from Adventure in the English version, when it's clearly not related to the Apocalypse there.
Yeah, but it's a really throwaway line at the beginning.
Yeah, I know, but it's still a difference. My screenshot of the week was the word art comparison, where in the... I think I'm going to choose the first part, which is we just have a cityscape and it's the opening credits in the original. And in the dub, we have Digimon in yellow text over the city line.
And then it's like...
Yeah, it's a 90s sitcom now.
Mine is Terramon falling down in the shower. Fall down, go boom.
It's really cute.
He's just like, whoop! And he looks like he's just like accepted his fate. It's so funny. I love that image.
We met a lot of Digimon in these episodes.
Oh my god.
We met Terramon.
It's a fighter plane, I guess.
Tylomon.
I don't know what that is.
The shark.
I feel like we've seen that one before.
We haven't.
Oh, weird. I mean, it's okay. It's one of those really Digimon designs where, like, it's almost a Pokemon, but then instead of, like, fins, you gave it blades.
Point. What about Depthmon? It's one of the other sharks that we saw briefly.
What is that?
He's
I don't remember that
pretty
at
cool
all.
looking.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, Vamdemon with a DigiMental of reliability.
It has, like, a diver suit on, even though it's clearly a fish.
Yeah, it's pretty cute.
I don't know, it's kind of cool.
What about Archilomon, which is the knife turtle? Knife to meet you.
I think it's cool. I don't really remember.
Knife turtle. It's very cool. Baronmon?
I thought it was really weird that it had, like, nipple missiles as well. It would shoot them out of its,
It's
like...
a Digimon.
Yeah, I don't know. It just... I think it was uninspired. It was a face with, like, robes under it.
Yeah. What about Sepicmon?
Pretty sure it was too racist for my taste.
What about Pippismon, which was like a little bat?
No clue.
It was also hanging out with them.
I have no idea what that was. It left no impression on me whatsoever.
It was really cute. I like him, but he's kind of like that.
That has once again left no impression on me whatsoever.
Very cute. What about Ponchomon, which is Togemon with a poncho?
It just reminds me, there's a character from Capcom vs. SNK... No, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 that looks exactly like that. It's a cactus. It has the sombrero on. I can't... It's that character showed up in Digimon and I can't believe it.
I think I've shown you that before, and you said that. What about Mephistomon?
It's kind of cool, actually,
Oh, yes, definitely.
as like a weird devil goes.
What about Gulfmon?
It's slightly less cool.
That's because it's more is less.
Yeah, it's a terrible centaur.
And Kukuamon, which is Taser.
I liked it.
Cutie.
I was adorable. Like you said, you know, it is cute. You're right. Fine.
It's a little beetle.
And I like that it. It's not a beetle.
It's a beetle. It's an electric beetle.
I didn't think so.
You haven't seen what it looks like properly then?
It's like a little man.
No, he's not. He's a little beetle. He's a little cute little beetle.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's a little cutie.
Yeah, that's all right.
Oh, he's so cute.
It's
Look at
It's a
him.
little man.
He's a little beetle.
Nah, I like that. I like that one.
He's a
So
baby.
that's a Digimon robot for the ages.
Yeah, it's perfect. Well, not perfect level.
Continue.
And we also have Labramon.
Everyone's adorable. I love it. It's a dog.
Yeah. Shisamon.
It's less adorable. It's got a weird like mane of horns, and then it has a unicorn's like horn and tail, and it just seems like it's really short.
I like him. So on to Postmon Pat. First of all, we have a Gmail email from SP, and they say that they agree with Jay's frustration this week,
That's because I'm always right.
saying how the show abandoned card mechanics and had some adventure-style moments in the final fight, but I think it's just a fluke.
Thank you.
What are Jay's predictions for the digital world?
Oh god, this is really difficult because it hasn't shown us any part of it yet. I do think they're going to return to the traditional like idea of the digital world being a place, but I don't think we're going to go to any of the places we were at before. No server, no file island. It'll be its own sort of area.
We have another Gmail from Nom, and this has some Try Chapter 2 and our Try Chapter 2 discussion spoilers. So if you're not interested in that, skip it. So Nom says, your theory from episode 56 of the podcast got me even more suspicious about Maki's actions. The way Maki got Izzy to join the others at the festival felt like it had ulterior motives, by sending him a picture of Mimi and a cheerleading outfit. Now, if memory serves, she did this right after seeing Ken, telling Daigo she was just listening to his advice and letting loose. If it were Daigo, he would have either called the children over or at least notify them. If what you're saying about Ken is true, what if him and Maki did cooperate and Ken was a signal for her to gather the children for a surprise attack? So this is about the Ken being a hologram theory that I had.
I honestly don't remember, but it sounds very coordinated, something that you could sort of put together later on.
I still don't think Maki and... I don't think we've seen the big bad of Try Chapter 2 yet. I think that that Hakumon, Daigo, and Maki aren't bad, and Ken was a hologram just trying to lead the true cause of the infection out. Whether or not that's Meikumon, we don't know, but it's definitely causes to bring the infection out.
So on Patreon, we got one from Riku, who says, do you think that you can make some video content in Japan? For some reason, they want to see our attempts at DDR and video. Anyway, their feedback on No Mon's Sky, mostly for Jay. Jay, you know how you said you wanted the digital world to be different from the last seasons? I'll just say this. I hope you like deserts. Oh boy.
As for the video content, hopefully, not sure when we will be able to upload them, depending on
Man,
internet
Jay
access.
does Japan.
But we actually have uploaded a video of us playing DDR to our Facebook before.
DDR?
Yeah, it was when I had Stepmania over the holidays.
Oh yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah, so that is definitely on our Facebook.
But it wasn't like, no, we'll do it on a machine.
Yeah, we'll do it on a machine.
We're going to there's an arcade day planned.
Yeah, definitely. I want to play the Digimon ones.
On With the Will, we got one from a crazy aristocracy who says, I don't think Juri is losing character, but then again, they know more about her than Jay does, so that's to be expected. They also love Jinx and all, but the Ganguro excuse doesn't really work. The timing is off, and even if it worked, it wouldn't really make any less uncomfortable. I mean, Japan's relationship with Little Black Sambo is enough to see there's something weird going on. And I mean, the face it's always been pitch black, not brown, and it's had like these really garish red lips, which much more fits the classic blackface look than it ever does the Ganguro look. So, I don't know, there's definitely arguments to be made for each side of it, I think. Metal Mamimon also contacted us through With the Will and said that they thought it was common knowledge that she, presumably meaning Jinx, is based on the Yama Uba, given all the similarities that they share, down to the blackface and blonde hair. Not really a surprise. A Japanese game and anime harkening to Japanese folklore instead of American racism.
I never heard about it possibly being a Yama Uba.
I don't know what that is. I've never heard of it in my life.
We'll look it up then.
Alright, let's take a look at what the Yama Uba is.
Oh, so it's like a yokai. That's terrifying. I'm not going to sleep tonight.
Well, just see, all the versions of it we're seeing, except for that one on the left that's obviously very highly stylized and modern, they don't seem dark.
Yeah, they seem more to be pale.
And no blonde hair.
Oh, they have blonde hair. Oh, there's just Jinx.
Some of them, yeah. I don't know, you might know more about this than I do, so...
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, I've never heard of that before, but that is possible, and I like to believe that it's not a racist thing. There's just a Ganguro girl.
That's the Yama Uba, right there.
Yeah. On Tumblr, we have an Anonymon who says, "This might be a can of worms you don't want to get into, but people have suggested that Juri might have some form of autism, explaining things like her sometimes having her dog puppet speaking for her." And I like that theory. I wish that more characters in Digimon had, like, explicit mental illnesses.
That's a really weird way of putting it.
No, because it's nice for kids to... Because kids might be going through things they don't understand and have, their own troubles, and that's nice. Like, I've always said that Joe in Adventure has anxiety.
Yeah.
And
it's one thing to say you want you want them to be more representative.
Yeah.
I just think the exact wording of "I wish these kids had mental illnesses" is so weirdly put.
No, I'm just saying that it's nice to have representation because kids might not know about these kind of things, and they might be experiencing their friends who have mental illnesses. And also, as I was saying, how I like Joe might have anxiety. I've always related to that. And Sora might have depression from her character song, and I've always said that character song seems to be saying that she might have depression. And I wish it was more explicitly said that. And no, I don't have a lot of experience with autism, but maybe Juri does, and maybe it's some representation, and just I know it's. I like Juri.
I don't know enough about that spectrum to make an assessment.
Yeah. See, a lot of my personal experience comes from anxiety and depression because, surprise, surprise, it's what I have. But it's nice. I just think that mental illness representation is important.
It is. That's the end of this episode. Join us for the next episode of Peach Girl, The Journey Begins.
Or To the Digital World, The Day of Departure.
And Brave New Digital World.
Or Enter the Digital World, Goodbye to Our City. For Weekly Wonders, I've been playing Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Blue Rescue Team because I really like Pokemon, and it's a game that I've never really played before, and I'm finally playing through them now, and it's pretty good.
It's been 3 days since we recorded our last episode, and I haven't done anything different.
Well, I'm sure you've done something different.
I've played Hearthstone, Rainbow Six Siege, and read comic books.
Hearthstone.
Have I not mentioned that before?
No, you haven't.
Oh,
because we already started doing that, and you've done Rainbow Six Siege, and you've done comic books, but no Hearthstone.
Well, Wing 3 of the Tower of Karazhan came out, and that's fun. It's been the easiest one so far, but it's fun.
The link dump will be linked in the description, and to contact us and stay updated, you can email us at LostinTranslationmon@gmail.com. You can comment us on this episode or message us on SoundCloud. You can follow us on @TranslationMon on Twitter and on Vine. You can find us at LostinTranslationmon on Tumblr, Facebook, and YouTube, where you can find our most recent video, Vamdemon Alarm Clock, which is probably the next Furby. It's terrifying.
It's awful.
We have a discussion thread on With the Will, and a Reddit thread in the Digimon subreddit, and we'd really appreciate it if you were to review us on iTunes and on Stitcher.
Thank you to our Patreon supporters, Stevie, who hosts a podcast with another supporter, Sam Krieger, called the Moncast, which talks about Pokemon and Digimon. Wuchinglong, who you can find at twitch.tv/Wuchinglong. Metal Mamemon, Joe, Anime Guy, who you can find at Anime Guy Kurosaki and the number 1 on YouTube. Chuckmon, Ishwal Bamba, Hiro Olato, who you can find at Hiro Olato on Twitter. Jason Morosky, Frost Miragic, who you can find at Frost Miragic on Twitter. Stephen Reeves, who is at WildWing64 on Twitter. Kaidawashi, Mac, Noam, and Riku. You can also make a one-off donation on PayPal, which can find linked in the description. Make sure just let us know it's for the podcast so that it doesn't actually get spent on something else, like Digimon toys.
And the link should be paypal.me/Airdramon. And thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys in, 2 weeks from main episode because of Japan, and maybe we'll upload some stuff while we're in Japan, hopefully. See you guys, bye!
Bye-bye, try not to be boring when you come visit.